Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
I just don't get this team. It doesn't make sense. It's not registering in my brain that they can play the way that they did in the second period, yet still be the team that played in the first period in this game and in the last game. They're so inconsistent. Now, you got to give credit to the Islanders because they are forcing the Flyers to look this ugly, but it's truly pathetic. When are you going to show the counterattack? And I feel like I've been one of the more optimistic Flyers fans. For example, when they blew the 3-0 lead in Game 2 and they still found a way, a lot of fans harped on the fact that, wow, look, they gave up that lead. That is one of the worst things in the world that could have happened. And I understood that. I wasn't acting as if that didn't matter at all. Of course, it mattered. It showed that the Flyers gave up a bit and they allowed the Islanders to do it, which is not a recipe for success. But still, they came out on top. They found a way to bounce back after losing Game 1. They tied the series up 1-1. I was looking at the positives. The first period in the game, I was looking at the positives. And here we have in Game 3 just an abysmal performance after the first 20. The game started out fine. It really did. The Flyers were buzzing. They were creating a ton of opportunities. They were establishing the forecheck, getting into the zone, creating plays, cycling the puck, working the Islanders' defensemen, moving the puck up high, generating shots. I mean, they actually looked good. And that fourth line, Tyler Pitlick, JVR, Scott Lawton, or whatever line you want to call it, they were buzzing around. They were creating energy. And they scored the first goal of the game by cycling. Tyler Pitlick throws a puck on net. JVR's net front screening Varlamov. Oh, would you look at that? Shooting a hockey puck on net from any sort of angle and getting bodies in front of the blue paint. It works? Hold on. Breaking news. Get bodies to the front. I've been screaming about this forever. That's simple hockey. That's what you learn when you're 5. Throw pucks on net, especially when we're talking about the second period later in the game when they can't generate any sort of damn offense. But I guess if you're losing every battle, if you're getting beat to every loose puck, well, how are you supposed to even get out of your damn zone? But I don't get it. It's like they're making it harder than it needs to be. And I get it. In the NHL, these goalies are great where you can't just throw every weird angle shot on net. And I'm not claiming that they need to. But more than what they're doing, yes. Just look at the playoffs so far. Look at this team specifically, the Flyers, that is, and look how they have generated their scoring chances. It's been wonky. It's been ugly. It's been greasy, if you will, if you want to go down the Alain Vigneault road. So do it that way. They're not scoring beautiful tic-tac-toe goals like Brad Marchand does with Pastrnak and Bergeron, or what you got in Tampa Bay at the moment, where they're buzzing and they're flowing and bang, 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 scoring all these goals. That's not the way the Flyers are operating because their top 6, they're just not working right now. And shame on them. They need to pick it the hell up. But if that's not the way this team is going to score, well, how else are you going to do it then? Oh, I got an idea. Do what Tyler Pitlick did. Here he is, off to the side, towards the boards, rips one, goes through some bodies. JVR doing his thing, screening. Boom, 1-0 Flyers. And I felt good at that point because when the Flyers have the lead and they score first, they do a damn good job at securing the victory. Well, it was the complete opposite in this game. This was miserable. Honestly, miserable to watch. Here you go, in the offensive zone for the Islanders. Beating every defenseman. Opening up lanes. Guys are sliding in areas where the Flyers are clearly falling asleep. They're getting in some grade A scoring chance areas. It's pathetic. Before we continue, this episode is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power, and with over 20 years of experience in the industry, they are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. Make sure you check them out. The information is in the description. So, in the second period, besides the atrocious turnovers, getting beat to all loose pucks, losing every single battle, not generating enough offense, looking like the other team is giving 500 times more effort. Nothing else happened. That was good. I don't know where I was going there. But it was awful. Moral of the story here. It wasn't good. Matthew Barzal, here he is. Zooming around. Getting some... The wraparound, right? He had the wraparound on Carter Hart. And he should have been able to score, but it went right through the crease over to the other side of the wall. And you could see his frustration a bit because he could have cashed in a couple times, but he wasn't able to. Oh, what do you know? This bothers me, right? So Matt Martin ties the game up 1-1 in the second period. He's left wide open in front of the net. It looked like Sanheim and Joel Farabee, they were in the camera frame. Someone should have picked him up. Here he is just coming down the slot area. But for Barzal to get to the puck, what was going on? Kevin Hayes essentially allowed him to get to the puck first. He eased into the puck and wanted to time it perfectly where Barzal and him would meet in the corner and he would pin Barzal. What are you doing? Get to the puck first. It's pretty damn simple. Get to the puck first, move it over to a defenseman, move it into an area, maybe use behind the net to get it into an area where a defenseman can come pick it up and we can use the glass, get it out of the zone or hit some sort of winger for a breakout. But instead he eases up, he times it perfectly, he allows the rub off Barzal into the corner. Well, that's the problem right there. Sense of urgency. You don't want the puck first? You're in your D zone. You're going to allow them to get their forecheck in where they want to? Get to the puck. Get to the biscuit. Incredible stuff. I couldn't believe my eyes. Kevin Hayes is a good two-way guy. I would trust him to get the puck first in that scenario. Mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. And there goes the lead. Now it's 1-1. The Islanders tied up. And then with 5 seconds left in the period, don't even get me started with Matt Niskanen and Ivan Provorov. Here's Provy just throwing something up the middle. They get it. Drop it down. So they catch it. Drop it down. Here they go. And then it squeaks through Carter Hart. But here's my problem. Once they got the turnover. The Islanders are now still in the offensive zone. I guess you can argue that it could have been a challenge for offsides, and I wonder if what they did at the end of last game was one of the reasons why they didn't challenge it, because it looked like as the Islanders caught the puck, they still needed to tag up on the blue line. So who knows? I didn't get that great of an angle at it. I thought at the time maybe they would challenge it, but as soon as I saw the face-off drop, I realized, okay, well, maybe there's nothing there. I don't know if the challenge in the previous game led them down a different road than they would have went down if that never occurred. But here's where I have the problem, other than Ivan Provorov's turnover that was miserable to see. Matt Niskanen, the guy that we rely on, the guy who is the top dog when it comes to this veteran core that we talk about, he gets waxed behind the net, losing his puck battle. The puck's in his feet. He's trying to use the boards. Puck just gets taken right off of him. They come around the net front, boom, squeaks through Carter Hart. How do you lose that battle? There's 5 seconds left in the period. You got to be aware of the clock. You got to understand, hold on, let me just eat this, right? How about that? How about let me just eat this puck instead of trying to move it along the boards like he was? Eat it. Eat it. Hug the boards. Keep it in your feet. Post it up against the boards, and bang, let the clock run out. You can't allow a goal like that. That's so deflating. It really is. You allow a goal with 5 seconds left after you just got pumped in that period. There's no other way to put it. They weren't even close. They couldn't even sniff the Islanders' jock straps that period. Get out of the period 1-1. And then who knows, maybe you can make a couple adjustments and come out in the third. You have to live with that 1-1 tie after the second. That changes the whole game that the Islanders scored with just about 5 seconds left in the second period. That can't happen. That's how you lose games. It destroys the team. It really does. Not that the way they play doesn't destroy the team, because that sure does as well. But still, there's more life if it's tied going into the third compared to that squeaky, fluky goal being available late in the second period. It just can't happen, honestly. And in the third, you get a power play opportunity for the Islanders. Here they go. It moves the puck from the top to Anders Lee down low. It looks like Anders Lee is trying to go back door, but instead Carter Hart utilizes his stick. It goes off of his stick and goes behind him. I can't get mad at Carter Hart for his performance in this one because, once again, it's the the forward's fault in the not scoring department. It's the defenseman's fault for the poor play in the defensive zone as well. He got left out to dry. Now, the Matt Martin goal, wide open in the slot. What's he supposed to do? The second goal, it did squeak through him. He almost actually made the save, but I'm not going to be mad at him. And then this one with the stick, I can't be mad at Carter Hart. While I think he could have had maybe 2 of those saves, who am I to say, Carter, you got to be real better in this situation. There's so many wrong problems. There were so many things that went wrong in this game where Carter Hart falls so low on the list that I can't go down that path. I need to freak out about this top 6. Hello, dude. Where are you? Dudes. All of you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This is the postseason. I don't get it. You are getting absolutely shut down to this degree. Here's my problem. And I love using the Bruins as the example because they have that top number 1 line that generates so much for them. But even if a team doesn't allow them to score, you still notice them making plays. You still see them out there. This offensive structure with the top 6 at times, you don't even see them. They're not even noticeable. You don't even hear their names. And I'm calling out Giroux, and I'm calling out Kuzi, and I'm calling out Voracek, Hayes, TK. TK was a monster this season. Come on. You need these guys to score. Now, Scott Lawton got his way back into the lineup. He was playing with a different line, but he played well in that first period and generated a lot. But then this is just an example of how this game was and the way that this team played today. There was a chance for Scott Lawton to enter the zone on the right side. He tries to go between his legs from behind him. Didn't execute that at all. The puck goes the other way, and now it's a 2-on-1? And they get a good scoring chance? In what world, Scott Lawton? After you got yanked in the lineup for not playing good enough at all and throwing pizza deliveries up the middle left and right, are you now going to try and pull a Pavel Datsyuk type move in a game? It's incredible stuff. Use your brain. How is that going to be the difference in winning or losing? Let's get pucks deep, huh? Let's establish a forecheck. Let's go wide maybe. Maybe throw something far pad. But you're going to try and dance around? You feeling yourself a little bit too much? Not only that, here's Voracek at the top of the blue line in the offensive zone. He has a miscue. Bang, 2-on-0 the other way. He's trying to back check, look slow as hell. They have a 2-on-0. Now, Carter Hart made a magnificent save in that spot. But I bring these scenarios up because I think it's telling on what exactly went down in this entire game. It needs to be better and it needs to be cleaned up. And if you want to go down the positive road, well, this team does good when it comes to bouncing back. It's been since January since they lost in that scenario. But you can look at it one of 2 ways. Positively, hey, that means they're going to bounce back. 2, they're due. And it's time to lose that game. They're down 2-1 in the series. So we all understand that the game on Sunday night, monstrous. You're either tying it up 2-2 or you're down 3-1 and good luck. Because this Islanders team is very, very structured. And they know exactly what they're doing. Do I have a little bit of faith? They have shown me, and the track record does show, that they do a great job at finding a way to get back into things when it looks down. So, I hate to say and give the cop-out answer of, well, let me see how they play in Sunday night's game, and I'll know. But, it will be very telling. Because this team, it's like they have 2 different identities. It's like, what's that movie Split, where this guy has 9 different personalities? This team has a bunch of different personalities. They have the first period Flyers in the last 2 games. It resulted in 3 goals in game 2 when Kevin Hayes scored a couple goals. Sean Couturier had the goal, the beauty against Leddy, and Varlamov was yanked. And then they had the first period in game 3 as well, where they were definitely the better squad. They're making Varlamov seem better than he is. Not that he's bad. He's not elite. He's just a good goalie in this league. But they're making him seem like he's Henrik Lundqvist in his prime or Martin Brodeur. They don't get enough tested shots on him. Now, that's when you credit Barry Trotz. I get it. I'm not acting as if his structure and scheme doesn't play a role into why the Flyers are having less success offensively. But you got to find ways, right? I mean, as much as you can credit them for what they do defensively, you got to look at your guys and be like, hey, it's good, but you got to find a way to get some sort of scoring chances. They're there. The opportunities are there. You got to pick and choose when to get them. You got to be, I talk about this all the time in basketball. Good offense beats good defense. Great offense beats great defense in basketball. A different scenario in the sport of hockey, but just because someone has great defense, great offense can still find ways to make a beautiful play, and you might have to be perfect, but hell, be perfect in that spot to make that perfect sauce pass to a guy going backdoor. Great offense can still beat great defense in hockey as well. I got a couple phone calls on the 24/7 Anytime hotline, and I think it will be fun to listen to your thoughts after the game. You can call in at any time at 856-442-9805 to react to any Philadelphia Sporting game or, anything of your choosing. So let's kick it off.
Hey, bros. This is just a truly awful performance by the Flyers tonight. They had the goal to start off, but they just fell asleep for the rest of the game, and really the lack of effort in loose puck situations. Like, the Islanders were the first to puck every time, and I've been saying this for a while now. Our top guys seriously need to step it up. In particular, Claude Giroux and Travis Konechny. I don't know what those guys have been doing for the last 5 months during the stoppage, but they are not the same players. I have never seen Claude Giroux be so invisible before. And it's not just he's invisible. He's been a liability out there. It's not just that he's not scoring. He's turning the puck over. He's losing faceoffs. His passes aren't connecting with anyone. He's played awful so far. And as connecting, he just looks off there. He just looks completely lost. Every time he misses a shot, he just looks at the sky. It's reminding me a lot of Rhys Hoskins at the start of the season.
I want to say this about the Claude Giroux thing. I think it's very fair after a game like this to rip Claude Giroux, and when you look at the way he's played, but there's this false narrative going on about him because, look at the last 20-plus games of Claude Giroux's playoff career. He only has one goal, right? That's the big stat that's been flying around town after Game 3's performance. And I do think it's fair to rip Claude Giroux to an extent. But if you watch Game 2, he had one assist, and that's it, and he was the most dominant player on the ice. Without Claude Giroux, there were no 3 goals in that game. He generated so many goals in that game, yet he wasn't on the score sheet. So I'm not giving him a free pass. He deserves to be ripped after certain performances, but everyone's just so fascinated, and this is with all sports, and this is one of my big takes that I always talk about. Everyone's so fascinated with scoring. James Harden, in this scenario, Claude Giroux not scoring. Scoring points. That's the only thing people care about, and there's so much more to just scoring a goal in hockey. So while you are correct, he needs to be better, and sometimes he's turning the pucks over. He's got to win draws in certain areas. That's what he does best, and when he doesn't do that, that's when he deserves the heavy criticism, without a doubt. But, he only scored X amount of goals. Well, is this Alexander Ovechkin? No, Claude Giroux's not an Ovechkin, a top insane goal scorer. If you watch Game 2 and you know hockey, he was the most dominant player on the ice and only recorded 1 assist. So I just think stats can be flawed at times, and I'm just trying to support him a little bit because I don't agree with the insane slander that this guy stinks, he's a big-time problem. No, you must not know. I'm not saying you specifically, the caller, just in general, the overall Giroux slander. If you understand the game of hockey truly, then while you can be hard on him because he needs to step it up, let's cool down the Jets, and he's not some terrible player.
Disappointed is an understatement. I'm getting tired of this one really good period in a game and then not remembering anything in the following periods. Put some shots on goal. 12 minutes without a shot on goal is ridiculous. That can't happen, let alone in a playoff game. Obviously, tomorrow is a huge game. I'm worried for the Flyers' future if they end up losing tomorrow night. They need to win. And I'm getting worried for the next round as well. If they keep playing like this, I'm concerned that it's just not going to go well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think this is That's the way I look at it. The Islanders and the Flyers are in the same tier when it comes to teams. You have the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Boston Bruins, the top dogs in the Eastern Conference. I don't think the Flyers are there yet. So even if they do win this series, I think it ends next series anyway, but I don't really care about that. That's a conversation for another time. That's not what we're here for. We got to recap this game. You mentioned the one period thing. I think that's a great point. You're getting one period. You got to put together a full 60. You got to put together way more than 20 minutes of play where you're dominant, where you're the better team. That's the only way you are going to succeed. And to generate that amount of shots in the second period and go shotless for so long, and it's a common theme with this team. It's not as if this is the first time we're having this wild discussion. They don't put shots on net. That's what happens, though, when in the defensive zone, you're getting beat to every loose puck. If you do get to the puck, there goes a stick lift, and the puck's taken away from you. You're getting hit, and there's a turnover that happens, and bang, somebody else on the forecheck is in the corner going to get the puck. That's what happens when you get absolutely eliminated in your own defensive zone. You don't have the time to go up the ice. So it all starts in the D zone in those scenarios. It's just bonkers that they can look so good in one period and then look the exact opposite. I mean, destroyed to the complete opposite degree the next period. It's so hard to think about.
You can pretty much take these thoughts and just keep them on an endless loop because it's the same issues every game. This team cannot win a puck battle. This team cannot do anything when they have the man advantage. Your star players are MIA. Check the back of the milk carton because these guys are nowhere to be found. And the one thing that saved them in the first round, Carter Hart, is starting to metamorphosize into Leaky Leighton before our very eyes. How many pucks are going under his arm, between his legs? He must have Swiss cheese as part of his equipment. Bottom line is this. The better hockey team is the team that wears the blue and white. They kicked our ass in the regular season. They're embarrassing us now. And if the Flyers lose tomorrow night, start packing your bags. It's over because they're not winning 3 straight against this Islander team.
Let me go here, though. While I do, you mentioned the blue and orange maybe being the better team, right? The blue, white, and orange. I forget what colors you emphasize there, but you get my point. The Islanders. Is that a bad thing, though, if the Islanders are better than you? Like, the expectations jump because this team went on this crazy ride. I feel like this is where the team is. They're in the same tier as the Islanders. They're not like a legit, insane Stanley Cup team when you look at Tampa and some of these other teams, maybe like Vegas and Colorado before Grubauer got hurt. Now they look toast, but I don't know. I get the frustration without a doubt because you want the team to succeed, but realistic expectations, what is this team? Well, I think this team is in the category of the Islanders where, this is the type of team that they are. While they can play better, I just think that, I hear the frustration in the voice, and I just feel that realizing where this team really falls, they could win this series for sure, but if they are a little worse than the Islanders, is that a bad spot to be when you look at the trajectory of this team, if that makes sense? It's not like the trajectory of this team is going down. We're not in the same scenario as the Washington Capitals here. We're on a different level where, this is the 07 Phillies of the 08 Phillies, if that makes sense. And that's not to give them a free pass for how they're playing in this series. I just want to put it in perspective of where this Flyers team actually is while voicing frustration for where they are in the series, if that makes sense. But a little tough, Sean, a little tough on Carter Hart. The Swiss cheese thing, I mean, come on. That second goal where it squeaked through, I feel most goalies don't even get there for it to squeak through at all. It just goes right in. I don't know. I mean, I think when you look at this, you got your top 6 not performing well. You need them to score goals. You only scored 1 damn goal in this game, and that came from Tyler Pitlick, okay? Who had a great game, by the way. Blocking shots, throwing some checks around, but Tyler Pitlick's your goal scorer. Your defensive zone, losing all the battles. I mean, it's hard for me to say, Carter, you got to come up with every big save because the 2-on-0, the 2-on-1, there was that beautiful play. I think it was Bailey who either passed the puck or he had the puck in the slot. He passes it over backdoor. He comes sprawling out, challenges, it hits the top of his glove and goes out of play. There were so many other spots where he could have allowed a goal that he would have been like, okay, that's a good goal, that he stood on his head, where you got to give and take a little bit. And Carter Hart, for me, while I agree that some of them he would want back, it's hard for me to go down that road of, Carter, I got to shred into you in this one. That felt like a frustration call. But hey, the 24/7 anytime hotline, that's what that's for. Grill into this team 2 seconds after the game, get all the passion and emotion out. That's the beauty of what we do here. So let me know your thoughts. They have an opportunity to tie the series up in a back-to-back situation. I would expect the kid to go again. Scott Lawton, is he back in the lineup? Raffle was out of the lineup for him. I hated that play in between his legs, but is that enough for him to lose a spot? I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell. Robert Haig, dude. Robert Haig taking these penalties. Oh, man. But here's the thing. Shane Gostisbehere, he's the alternative. Is that something that you can live and die with? This was Robert Haig's worst game. Would Alain Vigneault switch him up and get him out of the lineup for a poor performance? Let me know your thoughts down below on everything. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.